It's your weekly breakaway for fun conversations on pro cycling and so much more. Join us as we go beyond the slipstream. I'm Matt Harper, and together with my brother Justin, we'll do deep-ish dives on bike races, movies, bands, and all manner of shiny pop cultural objects. Oh, and did I mention bike races? We're kind of obsessed. Allez!
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Slipstream. I'm Matt and this is my brother Justin, and today in our first two segments we'll get into all of the ins and outs of week one and then some of the 2025 men's Tour de France. In our third and final segment, it's the women's Giro d'Italia, the second grand tour of the women's season, which concluded this past Sunday. And no Beyond the Slipstream podcast would be complete without a clover-covered ride in the old Broom Wagon. Ale! Please note this segment will contain spoilers. If you have not watched the finish of the race and wish to remain unspoiled, please jump ahead to segment 2. The 2025 Tour de France got underway well over a week ago in the far north of France in Lille, a mere 10 miles from the Belgian border, and that was fitting as the first 5 stages were dominated by Belgians, who took home 3 stage wins by stage 5 with 3 different riders. And no one in the world of cycling was surprised to see the other 2 go to a certain Dutchman and a certain Slovenian. The first half of the first week was good in my estimation, with some firsts, some big ups, and a few big downers too. Justin, Jasper Philipsen crossing the finish line of stage 1 a full bike length in front of last year's green jersey winner Biniam Girmay was fine. But Benjamin Thomas wiping out Matteo Verscher while crossing the line of the intermediate sprint 79 kilometers earlier was nuts. Let's start there.
So, I mean, one thing that I feel like about this first week of the tour was it seems like every accident was just brutal. Okay, this one was crazy. It was odd, and it's just an odd scene to go down. But it was far from the first one of these kind of like, crazy wrecks in odd places.
It was the first notable crash, to be sure, since it was stage 1. It was when things were starting to hot up and everything, and you had these 2 guys out front. It was just so like out of the ordinary. It's just not a thing that happens very often at all, where you get 2 guys just sprinting for an intermediate sprint. But the thing was, it was like on these cobblestones in the middle of this little town,
and he went down really hard.
Yeah, and it's like, if you watch when they were going into it, I mean, their bikes were bouncing all over the place because they're sprinting as hard as they can to get across that line. So they're putting so much torque on those bikes, and there's just nothing to get to grip onto on those cobblestones.
The way his like front wheel came out was like, it just, when you watch it, you almost tense up yourself because you know how hard you're about to hit the ground.
Yeah, and there's no way you could have found either of those guys at fault, because honestly, it was Verscher's back wheel just bouncing all over the place 2 seconds before this crash happened that I was watching with like, oh my God, look at that. And then it turns out it was Thomas that actually sort of started the crash or whatever. It was crazy to watch, just completely for the first stage of the Tour de France. I mean, you don't want to see crashes, but man, that just kind of amped everything up. It was like, oh, it's on from here. It was absolutely on.
It seemed like everybody in the peloton was nervous, and it just had that air about it most of the first day. And me personally, you're like meh on the end. Dude, the lead out that Alpecin did for Jasper Philipsen was ridiculous, okay? It's everything that we talked about last week, that if these guys can get on the front and make a charge, that this lead out is pretty much unstoppable, and he certainly looked unstoppable.
It was exquisite. Before we get there, let's just talk about the work that they did a little earlier, because as you'll recall, their first stage, there's crosswinds and there were splits. So there was two notable guys who missed out here. Uh, Both Belgians and both on the same team. That was Remco Evenepoel and Tim Merlier. Tim Merlier did not get the sprint for the yellow jersey on
This
stage
is
one
true.
because they messed up the crosswinds, and Remco lost time on stage one because of the crosswinds. Both of those things played out.
Primos too.
And Primos. And why I want to circle this back to Alpecin is that Vanderpool and those boys were out there driving hard because they didn't want Merlier to get back in there. So before they even did that magnificent lead out, which we're about to talk about, they did an amazing job of making sure that that brake did not come back together so that Merlier could not get into there, because as the next 9 days will demonstrate, Merlier's definitely Jasper's big competition.
It's one of my notes. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
But you're absolutely right. The lead out was absolutely nuts. It was four guys dead straight in line. You got Jonas Reichardt, who features later on in the big stage for Vanderpool. He's first, and I mean, each one, it's so textbook, because what was great about it is the finishing straight was just long and straight. And so you had these head-on camera shots where you could just watch the entire thing play out, and you just saw one guy after the next do their pull, peel off the front, do their pull, peel off the front, right down to Caden Groves. And Caden was absolutely burying himself. And by the time they got done, there was no way Philipsen was getting beat. I mean, Biniam was trying to hold Philipsen's wheel, but he had to do so much work to hold that wheel while Philipsen was just getting an armchair ride the entire time. It was amazing.
Biniam also tried to make that move on the right hand side and just kind of couldn't get through. Never had a really clear line on it. But I don't know. I don't think it mattered. I think they played that so perfectly. And who's to say if Tim Merlier's there, it's a different sprint. He wasn't there. Jasper looked like, Jasper of the last few years, where he completely dominates these heads up sprints. I don't know. It's obviously, as the way things unfold, we're not going to know, because we never got to see the head to head. So I mean, we can lead that right into the next topic.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this thing moving along.
Yeah.
So in stage two, Alpecin went from the absolute highs to the absolute lows. No, stage two, they stayed on the highs with a huge win by Vanderpool. Really cool with 5Ks to go. You got Jonas attacking, you got Tade, and you got Remco out there. The podium from last year, and it's already like stage two, and it's hotting up with these guys. So that was pretty sweet. And then how did I'm trying to remember how it played out for Vanderpool to get the win.
Oh, well, it came down to him and Pogacar were sprinting against each other, and Jonas comes screaming up from the back at the end. Vanderpool clearly beats Pogacar, probably a full tire and or a full wheel, and Pogacar comes in second, and Vingegaard almost came in second. Man, he was there with them.
That's right. And did Vanderpool get a good lead out from Groves in that one? I feel like he did, because I had a note in here saying that I really want to see Groves getting his stage win.
Yeah.
Now that both of the other guys had already got one. Well, pretty strong start for Alpecin de Koenig. 29 Tour de France stage wins as of that Vanderpool win that day since their first participation in 2021.
That's crazy. I'm looking at that note right now.
Absolutely stunning to think about. I read that. I'm thinking to myself, well, Vanderpool's only got 2, and Philipsen's got what, 8 or something. I mean, where did the other 19 stage wins come from? Maybe that's wrong, but I thought I heard that from someone notable. Anyways, moving into stage 3, pancake flat stage. It's first out and out 100% this is going to be a sprint stage, and as you just alluded to, we don't get to see the heads-up sprint between the top two guys, Philipsen and Merlier, because with about 12K to go or something, maybe 25K to go, there's an intermediate sprint,
Cocard.
and Brian Cocard, through honestly no fault of his own.
He bounced off the other guy, and in the move to the I must have watched this wreck 50 times.
Yeah.
He kind of bounces off the guy on his right, which sends him to the left, and by the time he gets to where he makes contact, his feet are completely off the pedals. He has no control over what happens at that point. And he puts Phillipsen down in a hard way. I mean, he went down, straight on the shoulder and hard as shit. And it was gruesome, and it's sad because
it sucks.
You don't get to you get to see this flash of what what could be. And I had said it last week about, I think experience definitely plays a point. And all of a sudden I was like, bam, look at that. First stage, he comes out and nails it. And now you don't know. And now it comes down to my opinion between the other two top sprinters that are really left, which is Merlier and Milan. And we'll talk about that in the next segment, about, how that's playing out. But Tim Merlier looks strong, in this stage.
Yeah, he looks strong since he won. It's the second Tour de France win. Van der Poel retains a yellow jersey, which he took from his teammate Philipsen on the second stage. We failed to mention that. What was I going to say though?
Good luck keeping up with the jersey switches in this.
The silver lining to the Philipsen situation is, however, that even though he went out on the third stage of the freaking race and basically didn't get to race any of this thing, he comes away having only participated in 2.5 stages with a yellow jersey and a stage win.
Yes.
Not too shabby. And he retains his streak. I believe he's now 4 Tour de France's in a row that he's gotten a stage win.
Yep.
So, I'm sure that that's another one of those records on the books that he'll be chasing at some point. He'll probably be in the mix for that. I'm sure it's probably up there at 7 or 8 or something like that. But anyways, the Milan jumped past Biniam to get into the green jersey on this stage, even though he hadn't gotten the win yet. And Merlier is just looking super, super strong. Even though, truth be told, he only beat Milan by about 1.5 inches. That was a really, really tight photo finish.
Very close finish.
So on stage 4, we saw what we knew we would be seeing sooner or later, and that is the 100th win for Tadej Pogačar. He played this thing perfectly. He was wearing the polka dot jersey the day before. His teammate, Tim Wellens, did some incredible work to go and get the KOM and take over that jersey for Pogačar for a very specific reason, which is unconfirmed, but which many people in the press have talked about, which is Pog did not want the photograph of him getting his 100th win to be in the Tour de France King of Mountains jersey. He wanted it in his World Champions jersey, which, talk about an embarrassment of riches. Most guys would be like, oh yeah, I'd love to get this big momentous number in my career ticked off while I'm wearing one of the leaders' jerseys of the Tour de France. Todd's like, that is like, nah, my regular jersey is better than the Tour de France King of the Mountains jersey. So
look, I agree. Look, I agree with him. I'd rather be if I'm wearing that jersey, I would totally want that picture because that's going to be in a picture that you've changed for years.
No brainer. That's 100%. So, but yeah, he gets his win. It's a super exciting stage. Watching it and just seeing the way he looked in that slow-mo coming across the finish line, both hands up like the leader's jersey. You can see his lats kind of coming out from behind. I'm like, this guy right here, this guy's going to figure out how to win Milan-San Remo. You watch. He's going to figure it out. He could have won Paris-Roubaix this past year. He could have done it. That one is going to happen. He's going to figure out how to win MSR. This guy's gonna
it's gonna eat at him and look, it's gonna eat at him, and I really think he has proven time and time again if he wants something, he's going to figure it out and he's going to get it. I mean, the guy wins half of the races that he enters, period.
It's crazy.
All right.
It's
Like,
freaking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did want to make one little note. They somewhere along the line they kicked to a interview with Quinn Simmons, and I gotta say Quinn gives some pretty good interview.
Dude,
They
he's
said
great.
what they said what are you gonna, you know, what's your power play for today or whatever, and he's like, today I'm first of all, he's like, I'm sticking with Skelmos. He says, I'm sticking with Skelly. He's like, but on these medium stages, the breakaway days, you know, I'll take my freedom. So we're gonna see some Quinn Simmons action in this race.
Oh, I feel like he is just like on the edge, dude. Like he's been so close. Oh man, no.
And he was out there. He was out there in the breaks in this race too. So,
Yes.
all right, stage 5. It was the ITT. Your winner. No surprise whatsoever, especially with the exit of Filippo Ganna on stage 1.
Yeah,
Remco up in the pole, blows everyone up. There's not a whole lot to talk about here except for Jonas shitting the bed. Jonas loses 30 seconds to Pogacar in this thing, and yeah. So, and then when you put that together with the time bonuses that Pogacar's been mopping up, he finds himself about a minute behind. Well, at this point, a little less than a minute behind, but by the end of, but by right now in real time, he's going to be a minute down. What I just wanted to mention about this, and I heard another commentator talking about this. What's up with the time splits? Like, this is the Tour de freaking France. Why are we not seeing at all of the time split markers that little ticker where they show like the number 1 person, and then as the person that's being on the camera coming in, as they're getting closer, you're seeing like, all right, they're still in second. Okay, now they're dropped down to third. Now they're dropped down to fourth. It was ridiculous. This is the Tour de France. They get this right in second tier women's races.
I've said it time and time again. NBC's coverage is terrible. It's terrible. All right, period. I have other things that I'll say, but I'll save it for the team bus. We can talk about that more in depth on the team bus. There's something I do want to make a comment before we wrap up on stage, or the first few stages here. You made a note in there about Florian Lipowitz. I want to make a note about Florian Lipowitz. I'm sorry, I said it like a week ago that I think Florian Lipowitz is stronger than Roglic. I really think it now. After a week, and we'll see how it is after 3 weeks, he looks way better than Primož Roglic in just about every way.
And Primož gave some kind of interview where we were told where he sort of like acted so nonchalant that everybody in the cycling world's like, Primož is like not even really like interested in racing this race. So that's gonna be an interesting developing storyline. But let's cap it there. We're gonna move in our next segment to stages 6 through 10, taking us right up to right now. Stay with us. Please note, this segment will contain spoilers. If you have not watched the finish of the race and wish to remain unspoiled, please jump ahead to segment 3. While the first half of the first week of the 2025 Tour de France was good but not great, let's say, the second half offered up a pair of Irish green, or should I say EF Education pink, bookends that have delighted us no end. As the little Irish engine that could, Ben Healy destroyed the competition on stage 6 to take his first Tour de France stage win. But he wasn't finished just yet, as he closed out the week not with a stage win, but with a strong enough showing in Stage 10's breakaway success to rip the yellow jersey off the shoulders of overwhelming overall GC favorite Tadej Pogacar and give Ireland its first day in yellow since Stefan Roach last wore it way back in 1987. Justin, we've been Team Healy for years now, since his breakout season in 2023, where he took home his first Grand Tour stage win at the Giro d'Italia after an impressive spring campaign that saw him on the podium in second at both Brabantse Pijl and Amstel Gold, and just off the podium in fourth at the esteemed monument race Liège-Bastogne-Liège. it really seems like the sky is the limit for the plucky, steadfast Irish pedaling machine. What else can he accomplish in this year's tour? And what do you see for him throughout the rest of his career, which hopefully will be pretty long as he's only 24 years old?
I heard I think it was Bob say that today, and or yesterday, or no, maybe it was today. And I was shocked to find out that he was that young. Like obviously he just doesn't look that young, but
He's got the white jersey right now too. Let's
yeah,
not
he
forget.
does. He's young rider jersey as well. It's amazing. All right, the lead change is an amazing thing. If it lasts, obviously, is very questionable against Tadej Pogacar, especially now that we're going to be getting into the high mountains. I just I want it to happen so bad. Like I just want him to be in competition for another 2 weeks. It would just be so cool.
He should have it for another couple days. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a love fest. Just seeing him, just that image is burned into my brain. That guy's beautiful, cherubic, smiling face with his scraggly beard. He's an Irishman, for God's sakes. He's an Irishman. He's from the land of Sean Kelly. And he not only that, but he's an EF educate. You got EF right across and the yellow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's too good. It's too good. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So let's take it in steps, because you know what? The great thing is we can start with Ben Healy in this segment too. We're gonna finish with Ben Healy in yellow, but we're gonna start with Ben Healy on stage 6. Wearing number 31, my favorite number. I don't know if we've noted that on this podcast yet, but 31 is a very, very special number to me. And I always get stoked when I see a rider that I like wearing it. Ben Healy is in 31. What a baller when he made his move to get out in front in this one. He was, it's your classic, like from behind kind of thing. He's on this tiny little country road, little toothy uphill, and boom, here comes Ben out of the left hand side, and they look around for a second, and he's gone. Goodbye, lights out. I'm about to turn up the tempo, and no one's gonna ride as fast as me.
As has happened a couple of times in this race, the peloton, the GC riders are just kind of letting certain people go, and in this in this guy's case, it's going to come back to bite them in the ass here in a couple of days. He looks so strong in this ride in stage 6. Like he looked stronger than everybody else in the field that day, and then some. And it was just such an awesome ride. And there was the moment where, because I guess for whatever reason he came really close to the NBC booth or bus thing, and they had that great shot of him coming through and them being able to see him through the window. Bob and Phil, but it was just an amazing ride from this kid, man. I want to see him go further.
Yeah, so much good stuff from this stage. I literally just want to punch through like every one of my notes in here. I know we have a limited amount of time, but after Healy got away, so he was in a break with MVDP, Will Barta, Simon Yates, Dunbar, Quinn Simmons, Harold Tejada, Michael Storer.
It was a big group.
The whole group is looking at Vanderpoel to do the chasing, but he wasn't interested because, and this is what I love about these guys. Some of these guys that are like the cream of the crop, their mind for the game is just so good. Vanderpoel had his sights set on the next day. It's like, nah, I'm not chasing this dude down. I don't care about Ben Healy. I don't care about this stage. Tomorrow is my stage. I'm not chasing them down. It's not going to happen. And then Healy basically goes out at his sweet spot, 42 Ks to go. It's like 42 to 45 Ks to go is his freaking spot. I love how he's so in tune with, with his own abilities. At one point, he admonished the camera bike to get out of his way. Did you catch that?
Wait, say that again?
So apparently okay, the camera bike is never going to ride directly in front of a solo rider because you're going to give him a slipstream. It's perfectly fine for the camera bike to ride directly behind the solo rider because you're not giving him any slipstream whatsoever. And in actuality, it's helpful to a solo rider for a camera bike to be directly behind them. It actually gives them push in a way. Um, but the least helpful thing for a breakaway rider is to have a camera bike right beside him because they fuck up the wind right there. They push wind into the rider laterally that fucks him up and makes it harder. So at one point, the camera bike is rolling by, and of course, we, the viewers, are loving this because they're zooming in on all the little details of Ben Healy's kit and his little, his bike and everything. And it's like, oh, wow, look at that shit. And Healy's like, bro, back off, back off. Like he yelled at the guy, like, get the hell behind you, man. You're killing me here, bro. I'm trying to win this race. But you had Quinn Simmons and Michael Storer pop off and try to make a go of it to catch him. They were never going to catch him, but it was a valiant effort by those two, and I really enjoyed watching Quinn Simmons throttle Michael Storer
at the end, saying he just was like, nope, because Quinn went in that early break with Healy, like he was there,
yeah. And Vanderpool and Storer and
right,
and
but he was the first one. So what's just see him kind of put that statement and be like, no, I did a lot of work for this. I'm taking that second place. I was happy. And that's what I'm saying, dude. With Quinn, I feel like we are on the cusp of him catching something somewhere. Like
I said it in our Tour de France preview show. I really think he's going to get the stage.
God, I hope so. God,
he's dialed in. He is dialed in. So Vanderpool takes back yellow on this stage by 1 second. That was the other thing. It's like Healy came in, and then Quinn and Storer came in, and then a little while later, the remnants of that breakaway group came in, and among them it was Mathieu van der Poel. I think he came in maybe fourth or something like that, but he was fighting all the way to the end, and he gets the yellow jersey back by 1 second over Tadej Pogačar. Like, so much drama in this stage.
I think this helps Pogačar because he doesn't have to go do all the press and all the bullshit. So
yeah, for sure. It's the same thing as we were talking about with him dropping that Mountains jersey. He didn't have to go do press that night. Could be really primed for his big set piece 100th win.
Yeah.
So the last thing I want to say on this stage, and we're going to move on, is I caught a great little bit of Ben Healy sort of talking to the people in his little team area, like right after he won the thing, and they're congratulating him and stuff. He's just won. he goes, oh man, that hill made me fucking work for it. Loved it. All right, stage 7. Old Tadej Pogačar gets his second stage win of the race. It's only taken him 7 stages to win twice. But the thing that I loved most about this stage was one Geraint Thomas out there in the break
for a while too, man. He hung in there for so long.
Yeah. When I turned it on, and so I think what was that, Friday? Yeah, I had to work that day, but I remember I threw it on before I was going into work, and I was like, usually if I watch before I go into work, these races are no closer than like 80 Ks from the finish at the most. But I saw, like, I turned it on just briefly as I'm getting out of the shower. So I'm like, oh my God, Geraint Thomas is the break. What? I can't wait to watch this when I get home.
All right. There was a lot going on in this stage, but Zhao Rex, this is a big part of, and I don't want to have to feel rushed, but
yeah, this is definitely the story of the day.
Yeah, Zhao goes down, and he looks roughed up, and I was honestly shocked that he kept going. But obviously the next day, he's cooked. This was also the day where the little controversy with Pogačar and
in the feed zone
happened too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Visma, and there was some really good like back and forth on that, and and Pog kind of being like, they always do this to me. What else? But obviously Pogacar gets the win. Moving on to stage 8.
Hold on. We're not moving on to stage 8.
Why? What else you got?
I got a whole thing full of notes on this stage. Um, First of all, we failed to mention a little dust up between Jonathan Milan and when he was screaming at Biniam at the end of at one of the intermediate sprint stages on stage 6. You remember that? This whole thing?
Yes.
And like every single commentator across the board was just like, nah, Milan's out of his mind. Biniam didn't do anything at all. He's being ridiculous. And like Milan realized it pretty instantly and was like already apologizing on social media by like later that evening. But they're looking like super friendly again by this stage. Incredible work from Pogacar's team on this particular stage, even with Joao getting messed up, because you had Nils Pollitt laying down just like hard kilometer after kilometers throughout this stage. You had Jonathan Narvaez in there at the end, and you also had one of their other guys. Another word on that crash. Yeah, well, exactly. Another word on that crash. Ben Healy was in that crash.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes into play later, because if Healy's not in that crash, he is way further ahead in that yellow jersey than the 30 seconds ahead that he is right now. Like he's probably well over a minute ahead. So, but if you go back and watch that crash, you said you've seen it a million times. No, you said you saw the Philipson crash.
Yeah, the Philipson crash.
I've seen this one a million times too. But if you watch Healy in this crash, it's like him and his teammate, and they both kind of come sliding in a little bit late. Like there was already a guy down in front of them, and they're hard on the brakes, and they both kind of side into each other like this beside each other, and then they hit the guy that's on the ground. But they've slowed down enough that they just kind of slowly flop over this guy, and it's like the one guy on the F goes down on top of the dude that's on the ground, and then Ben Healy like gently like lays down on top of him. It's kind of funny. It's like the way they managed that crash in the moment. I mean, I know it's just split second like adrenaline stuff, but it's kind of like, damn, those guys did some serious damage control right there in the moment. Yeah. So
well, you'd much rather. I mean, for Ben Healy, you'd much rather go down on a body than on a pavement. So.
Always. No, going back on the thing with the UAE teammates, Wellens gave an incredible lead out to Pogacar in the bottom of the climb, and then halfway up, or 3/4 of the way up, basically at the top of the climb, with a K to go or 800 meters to go, Narvaez just locks on the front and goes from like 800 to 400 meters, just dead ahead, and that was perfect lead out. For Pogacar. Somehow Jonas hangs onto his wheel, but he can't come around. And
he was real close, though.
Pogacar gets number 101.
I mean, look, the one thing you can say about,
Matteo in second.
We haven't really, spoken on the GC, in fact, we've been, breaking down a lot of, other things. Jonas is right there. Look, I think losing Joao is a big blow to that team. I think it makes it harder for Pogacar in the sense that he will have to do more himself. He will not have the help that Jonas will have. And
Sivakov's a mess.
And Sivakov's a mess.
And Soler just went down.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Simon Yates just won a stage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like meanwhile, Wout's as strong as ever. Like meanwhile, Matteo Jorgensen is in the mix on every stage. Like it's shaping up. It's shaping up good. Shaping up so good.
Everybody, well, you know what? It's crazy because you have like, to me, there's a lot of people that are kind of naysaying Jumbo right now, and they're saying that they're not doing enough, and Jonas should be attacking. And look, man, I really think that they are in a good position going into these high mountains, and they have a depth to be able to work this, and they know how to work this. They've done it before. They have beaten Pogacar before. And now he doesn't have his number one lieutenant, okay? He doesn't have the guy that everybody unanimously said was going to take him deep into these climbs.
Yep.
All right. It is, it's a game changer losing Zhao. And you're right. The tail end of that group is also a mess. So he's going to have to rely on Navarez and Yates, all right, and Wellens and Pollitt.
Yeah.
And look, dude, I'm sorry.
And only two of the guys that you just said are mountains guys, and we're headed to the high mountains. So, all right, I get your point. We need to move on because we're
going to run out of time.
Pretty much out of time. So here, stage 8. Nailed on sprint. Milan finally gets his Tour de France stage win. That's the whole story of stage 8, and we can press on.
Hold on. I do want to make a note about this. Is Merlier's not in the mix in this sprint, right. So, and that's going to fast forward, and we're going to talk about the sprint to the next day. And when it is a heads-up sprint between these two, Merlier gets him, and I really do think that pound for pound, Merlier is the better sprinter right now, period.
100%. But let's rewind a little bit, because we didn't know that it was going to be a sprint between these two until about 700 meters left in the stage, because Van der Poel was in a 2-man break with his teammate Jonas Rickard, and they literally took off at the beginning of the stage, these two guys, and held it the entire time. He was in the virtual lead of the race with over 3 minutes at 77 Ks to go. Almeida is struggling off the back and finally abandons the race. You've got echelons and crosswinds pulling the whole peloton apart.
The peloton.
Right. Vismalab is out there just pouring on the pressure. They're a Dutch team. They know how to do crosswinds. Rickard hangs on until 6 Ks to go, leaving Van der Poel on his own.
Effort.
And they catch Van der Poel at 925 meters to go. You have got to feel for him.
I've never wanted something to happen more in cycling than for him to win that stage.
Absolutely crazy. By far, Merlier is the fastest pure flat sprinter. There's no question about it. You can't even talk about it. I loved how he goes. He wins the race, and somehow he ends up back at his team bus within 15 seconds. Did you notice that? You never see that. The guy celebrating right there by the team bus. He's looking inside the bus. He could have disappeared for all we knew. That was crazy. I wanted to mention two last things on this stage. Number one, Arnaud Delis caught a 3rd place. That is the best thing. That's the first time you've seen Arnaud Delis do anything in.
I told you anything can happen.
Years, I know. You mentioned Delis the other day.
Come on.
Good on him. Good on him. He got a 3rd place. The last thing I want to say, though, if Phil Liggett calls Van der Poel Adri one more freaking time, dude, come on. I mean, Bob straight up corrects him every time he says it now. I mean, Phil will be like, and Adri Van der Poel, and he'll be like, Matthew. Bob will just be like, Matthew. It's ridiculous. All right, let's move on to stage 10. We are so far over. Should we save stage 10? Let's save stage 10 for the team bus. Let's open the team bus with stage 10 because we're 20 minutes already.
All right.
And it's too good to blow through.
All right.
If
you don't listen to the team bus, the winner was Simon Yates, but you really should come listen to the team bus because it is a good day.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna cap it there.
Don't miss the Team Bus, our weekly companion podcast to the main Beyond the Slipstream show. Our domestique, if you will, dropping every Wednesday in your usual podcast feed.
Please note, this segment will contain spoilers. If you have not watched the finish of the race and wish to remain unspoiled, please wait to listen until you've had a chance to catch up. The second Grand Tour of the women's 2025 pro cycling season is done and dusted, and in the end, the reigning champion added another solid result to her already very impressive palmares. And while Team UAE ADQ's Eliza Longo Borghini made a clear statement that she is among the 2 or 3 most elite bike racers on the planet this year, a young Australian made a pretty big statement herself as AD Insurance Sudal's Sarah Gigante won the 2 big mountain stages with authority and helped keep pre-race favorite Marlon Roysa of Movistar largely out of the conversation in the latter stages of the race. Gigante surely has a bright future ahead of her, but her size may be an issue when it comes to GC competitiveness. But let's start with the brilliance of our favorite Italian sweetheart, Eliza Longo Borghini. She didn't win a single stage, and she only wore the pink jersey for one stage, the last one, and she was still wearing it on the final podium. The wily veteran knew exactly what she needed to do, and she went out and she did it. Justin, all signs point to this being the year she could win the Tour de France Femme avec Swift. But is this the year she should win?
Look, she this is the way this race shapes up. It doesn't leave a lot of room for you to put a big, time gap in someone. And she found an opportunity to be able to put a big time gap in on somebody, which was just enough to put her into the position that she needed to be in. All right. Even though she didn't win the stage. All right. Sarah Gigante is a revelation in the in those high climbs. Like, she was dominant. All right. But
Yeah.
ELB got the job done in the spots where she needed to get the job done. Period.
Mm-hmm. It was just, she just absolutely played it perfectly. It's like
Calm,
such a
cool, and collected.
yeah, it's like such a thing of beauty. It's the same way that Simon Yates won the Giro this year as
Totally.
well. It's an interesting parallel. You know
Yes.
what I mean? Although Yates did no, he didn't win a stage either. He didn't win
Correct.
a stage either of the Giro, but he won it, and it was only at the very, very end. I mean, Borghini took the jersey, so she actually got to wear the pink jersey one day while she was racing on the last day. Simon Yates did not get that honor.
Until the
Um,
last stage.
he actually pulled it on, in Rome. But yeah, yeah, yeah. She's just it's you gotta tip your cap to them. I mean, obviously the fitness and the ability is there. She knows she didn't put a foot wrong, but knowing when to play her cards because, as you said, the limited number of opportunities to really put big time into people. Um,
Well, and she did it on the perfect stage because the where she put herself by putting herself in the pink jersey on the second to last stage, all she has to do is keep up with Marlon Roysa. Just sit there with her. She doesn't do
mhm,
anything. She could literally sit on Royce's wheel the entire time, and and she wins the Giro. Like,
mhm,
it,
mhm.
the the when you say that it's a low key win, that's exactly what it is. She makes her move in the exact spot where she has to make the move. It's the only place that she can make the move, and gets it done in just like a in a quiet ninja assassin way. It was
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So let's get into it. Stage one, they open it up with a 14.2 kilometer ITT, and no surprise whatsoever, Marlon Rosa wins it ahead of her former teammate Lada Kopecky at 12 seconds back, and boom, there's Longa Borghini 16 seconds back. She didn't win. She didn't win. She's 16 seconds back, but 16 seconds. That's it. In a first stage ITT with 8 stages in front of you. Perfect. Just where she needed to be. And who was there in fourth? Von de Breggen, 20 seconds. I kind of like that. Like, I kind of like that. Like, after the first thing, it's like all the hitters right there.
Hmm.
Who's absent in this little thing? Sarah Gigante, which is what I was alluding to in the intro. That, like, for her to really be a stage racing threat, like, she's gonna have to figure out how to TT in the future, or she'll just always be a mountains climbing specialist. Who knows?
I don't
Um,
know.
so stage two, we see kind of an unlikely turn of events with Anna Henderson of Lidl Trek uh, going into the pink jersey with a was it like a 2 up sprint with this girl Mirmont. Um, Didn't see that coming.
Uh,
Kopecky shits the bed, falls out of the top 10, and Reusser, ELB, and Vonderbregen all drop down a spot in the GC as Anna Henderson kind of leaps ahead of him from this little breakaway move.
is this the day that Voss had the shoe thing?
Insane.
Yeah.
She 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 changed her shoes on the move. But my question is like, she's wearing lace ups. Did you notice there was like laces?
Don't don't they have to like hook them over and then they like crank the dial? Isn't that how that normally works?
I thought all that stuff's internal. I have a pair of those kind of shoes, and it's all internal. You just like put the shoe on and like
Crank
push.
the dial.
Yeah, you just crank the dial and it pushes down.
Maybe it's like a preference thing.
I don't know. I thought that was weird. Um, all right.
I mean, it's not for lack of having the best equipment. It's Visma, so if anything, it's got to be a choice.
Right. Right. So we're gonna have to blow through a couple of these stages here. Stage 3, classic nailed on Lorena Vivas sprint.
No,
Lead out.
nobody else was winning that. Was that winning that? Like
It's insane. It's really like mind-boggling. Like, how long will this go on? Will this have, like I said, I said this in an earlier show, like another 2 years, 3 years? How long? I mean, nobody is even comes close. And then she's getting lead outs from the world champion, for God's sake. It's just ridiculous. Henderson retains the pink jersey, and we're on to stage 4 where little Sarah Gigante from Australia shows herself for the first time. Slim down group going into like 10K to go with like Roysa, Lippert, ELB, Roy Ackers, Casterline, Gigante. 9.3 kilometers to go. Roysa hits out. Gigante's immediately on her wheel. ELB struggling to hang on, but somehow stays in contact. By 8.5, they're down to Longa Borghini, Gigante, Reusser, Niedermeyer, Roy Ackers. Comes back together. Van der Breggen just gets on the front of this group and is there from like 5.5 Ks to go until like 2.5 Ks to go, straight uphill. Have you noticed how she does this? Like, I don't know if that's just like her comfort spot. I was trying to think back to like when she used to race. I'm having a hard time remembering like when she was
I
in
didn't see her
all
race
these
before.
races, and it's like it seems like in so many races she just gets on the front and just does all this work
And then nothing
burns
comes
herself.
of it. Yes.
Yeah, burns herself at like
Burns a match for other.
It's like
she's burning
she's trying to
matches for
crack
other people.
and she doesn't have the ability to crack people anymore. Group slimmed down even further to Roysa, ELB, Gigante, and Niedermeyer, and Gigante gets away on her own. ELB is in a heads-up sprint with Roysa in the end, and she beats her. And if you flash back just a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks ago, Tour de Suisse, every time Roysa and Demi Vollering came to the line, Roysa was just like heads and shoulders above her, just handling her. And in this thing, no answer from Marlon Roysa. ELB comes around her, so I enjoy watching that.
Dude, Gigante looks so good. Like when she pulls away from them, I was like, is she? And like it wasn't. Like she went off. Like she was a good bit ahead of them when she when they get when she gets to the end of the climb, and you hear her name a lot. I didn't realize she was this good of a climber, man. Like I didn't realize she could take the likes of these two down. Because we said going into this that Marlon Roysa is that's somebody to have your eye on going into this race, and she did not disappoint in that sense. But Sarah Gigante coming in and just laying the wood to these two is a revelation to me. And you're right,
it was awesome.
If she figures out the time trial, man, she could be a threat because she can climb her ass off.
She's just so small. I think she's just going to be one of these riders that kind of wins big mountain stages and solidifies her legend that way. But I don't know if it's really. I don't know if I ever see her necessarily winning a Grand Tour. Stage 5, once again, another Lorena Wiebes, like doing the Wiebes things. what I liked here is there was a really great group going into the finish. It was like Weebus with like Kopecky, Reusser was there, Van de Breggen was there. So Weebus had Kopecky, Van de Breggen, and a bunch of other teammates. Um, you had
Leanna
Lippert,
Lippert.
Leanna Lippert, Longa Borghini, Brody Chapman, Gasparini, Sylvia Persico. So a bunch of UAE gals and Mariana Voss. So it's like this great big group where like sort of kind of like anything can happen except we all know what's going to happen. Perfect work from Van der Breggen, Kopecky, just pulling Vivas right up to the front. 1K to go, boom, they're right there on the front. All three of them. She's unbeatable. This is her 14th win of the season. She's leading the entire pro peloton, men's and women's. Um, what else can you say about her? Let's move on. Stage 6, Liana Lippert from Movistar. She's off the front with Royackers, Paulina Royackers, in that badass like army green Alpecin, the Alpecin Phoenix Alpecin jerseys.
Are you just now noticing those? Like,
Well, I'm just now mentioning it.
okay, yeah,
I love
they're sick. The color is great
I
on them.
love that color scheme. It's so cool. Um,
It's that like drab olive. Oh, it's great. Dude, on stage 6, I was really rooting for Silke Smulders to get her first win.
yeah, she's showing well.
Man, I was just like, oh, could she do it? But no, alas, it wasn't to be. Roy Akers
Yeah, it
and
was.
Van Anroy were your 2 and 3 in this.
Yeah, Lippert was just a way stronger sprinter than Roy Eckers. That was a pretty much like guaranteed win once they got close enough, and that's her second Giro win. Van Anroy, super respectable third place there. She pulled up. She kind of made a cheeky move to get away from the chasing group. Um, on stage 7, we saw Gigante's Queen's stage, just second set piece of a win. Um, but a lot more going on that day as well. ELB starts the day 16 seconds behind Marlon Roysa. Gigante started 2 minutes and 16 seconds behind Roysa. And in the end, Longer Borghini's in pink and Royce is 22 seconds back. So Longer Borghini basically got like, I don't know, about 40 seconds on her
She
in that
she
day.
played it exactly right. That's all there is to it. And then we get to the final day.
Wait.
Sure.
I got some notes on stage 7. The incredible drone work. Yeah, incredible drone work in this race. Um, I'm going to be talking more about that in the team bus. Wait, what was the other thing? And then Gigante um, works her way onto the podium with her performance on this thing, I think,
Yes.
or maybe that was no. But anyways, in the interview afterwards, the interviewer said to her, "Sarah, can we call you the princess of the Italia Mountains?" And Gigante replies, "The princess, sure, or the queen." I was just like, "Yeah, you go, girl." All right, so we got ELB back in pink. This is glorious, going into Sunday on stage 8, and old Leanna Lippert from
Does it again.
Movistar gets her second win. Yeah, and all the same names that have been in the mix throughout this entire race are right up there with 10Ks to go. Longa Borghini, Roysa, Gigante, Van de Breggen, Roy Eckers, Niedermeyer, Lippert,
Yep.
Alcati. Yeah, like all those ones. Your girl Silka Smulders, incredible move on the final climb. Goes over the top first. She holds on to that gap for a while. She was looking good. And yeah, I guess it comes down to a little attack from Van de Breggen, and Lippert's the only one to lock onto her wheel. And Lippert once again smokes somebody in a sprint finish. But it was awesome seeing ELB defend her title.
Absolutely.
No stage wins.
Erska
She finds a
Ziegert
way to
gets her
win.
first top 10.
Urska. Yeah, I'm enjoying seeing Taddy's girl
Yep.
making a name for herself. It'd be really cool if like she just somehow like became really good over like the next 2 years, and like it was like
That'd be
the
crazy.
ultimate power couple. Um, yeah, there was it's a great race. It was a great race. I tell you what, man, some of this drone footage is unreal. Super stoked to see ELB defend her title. There's no stage wins for UAE, but that woman is a canny stage racer. She finds a way to get it done. She wins the GC. Um, Movistar is a great team. Lippert just crushing it. Roysa holding that pink jersey, getting a stage win, winning Swiss 2 weeks ago. I mean, Movistar is looking so good. You know, in the post um, Van Vleuten era, Movistar
Hmm.
is coming good. Um,
Here's my.
SD,
Ooh, sorry.
go ahead.
Here's my burning question for the end of this race. Can she beat Demi Valerie?
And can either of them beat ELB? Because I'm not convinced that either of them can. I can't wait for the Tour de France. Cannot wait.
Is Cassie in the mix like she was last year? Did she come
Who
out with
knows?
a hard
Who
title
knows
defense?
what her form is going to be like? Who knows?
All right.
So
We
exciting.
don't have long to wait. Just a couple weeks, and we're
Yep.
into that. So
I love it. All right. Well, we're going to leave it there and stick with us because in a moment's time, we'll be in the Broom Wagon. All right. Welcome back. We are going to take a ride in the Broom Wagon. Justin, what have you got for us?
so we're on vacation this past week in Hilton Head Island, and I had the old Peacock running, watching the Tour de France. So it was like chilling on the regular Peacock menus a lot because there's that's what we had on. And so we ended up watching the original Jurassic Park from 1993, and I am encouraging a rewatch of this amazing movie. It was it's just watching it now in this like post Marvel world where everything is CGI and it's not really real anymore. Seeing this movie that Spielberg makes that is this mix of practical magic, with the practical model dinosaurs and the beginning use of CGI in certain places to bring scale to this, giant, kind of world. It's so much fun to go back, and it's like, God damn it, I kind of wish they still made movies this way, because now, if you need a puddle, a cup of water to make a ripple, all right, you're not figuring out a way to make that practically happening. You just do it and see. You're like, no, we can't make it do
Just
that.
animate it.
We'll just animate it. Yep. Nobody will know the difference. So going back and watching it, and it's just like, I mean, just great performances through it. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum.
Thank you. I was going to say you're bearing the lead. There's only one performance to talk about
Come
this
on.
entire movie, and that is Jeff freaking Goldblum. The guy is Ian Malcolm is an icon. Ian Malcolm is the man
Yeah,
of
but
all men. Like,
you
oh my
also
god,
have Wayne Knight in this. You have Sam Jackson in this. All right, you have Attenborough in this. Like, dude, this cast is crazy, and those two kids are great in this.
no, let me comment on this because it is crazy that you put the I saw it in here and I was like, OMG, because I had the same exact experience, bro. I just watched this like a week and a half ago.
Yes, I love that.
So you want to talk about practical effects? I'll just call out two to completely illustrate your point. Number one, Laura Dern inspecting the mama bear triceratops, and then Sam Neill like laying down on the thing, and it's like breathing, and he's like
Yes.
moving up and down. It's like that's so great. I mean, that was just like a giant piece of foam rubber that they dressed up in whatever to get that shot. But I mean, it's a practical effect, incredible. And then the other one, this is just like absolute magic. The T-Rex with its nose on the piece of glass from the
With the
windshield of the
kids.
car, and the kids are up underneath it. I mean, that
Yes.
is just incredible
And
because
it
it's
gives
so
it
believable,
it
so
gives it so
believable.
much more gravitas.
It's so tactile.
Yeah.
Like you
Um
could see that thing just moving around underneath that thing's snout. Like
dude,
incredible.
when they put the car in the tree and the car is coming down through the tree,
Yes.
that's absolutely practical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, oh man,
And
there's
Spielberg is a master of just orienting the viewer to where you need to be to just like understand, like for all the action to make sense. Unlike, as you mentioned, some of these Marvel pictures where it's just like these CGI orgies where there's just 10,000 things going on in the screen at one time. And like Jurassic Park, it just moves through. It's so economized. Like every single shot is
yeah,
just so
it's perfect.
perfectly placed. Like,
And it's I'm a big if we ever talk movies long enough, you'll hear me talk about pacing a lot. Pacing to me is really important. Pacing to me is one of the differences between good and great movies. You know what I mean? You can have a good movie that's got terrible pace, but the best movies, you don't look at your watch. You know what I mean? It's you're engrossed in it the entire time, and it's paced really well. This is one of those movies. It moves scene to scene very fluently, and it's wonderfully shot in this very grand way to where they just keep making the world bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they make the world scary as shit. You know what I mean? And it's like they do such a great job of like building suspense in all of these different scenes. When the kid's on the fence, and when Sam Jackson, or when Laura Dern goes to find Sam Jackson, and the Velociraptor like punches its head out of that thing, and it's like terrifying. So I mean, it's just like, look, this movie is a movie that you need to go back and watch. If you've never watched this movie, you should immediately watch this movie. What are you doing with your life? But go back and watch it, and this is when movies were, in my opinion, the absolute best. All right, that time is just, it's such a magical time where you started to be able to see things that you never thought you'd see on a movie screen. And it's an amazing movie. It's so good. It's so much better than the ones they're cranking out now. But god, man, what a great flick. Jurassic Park 1993.
couldn't agree more. And hey, after you finish Jurassic Park and you're like, oh my God, I need some more of that. Give me some more. Go back and watch Jaws because Jurassic Park is basically Jaws for the 90s.
Yep, I agree
Go
with
back
that.
and watch Jaws. All right. For my Broom Wagon, I am I'm a avid Reddit guy. I love being on Reddit, and one of the subreddits I'm in is ELO. And I noticed a little something happening in the ELO subreddit here in the past couple of days, which is that there was some concerts that were going on for ELO over in England, and they canceled a couple of them because Jeff Lynne is in poor health, and it's looking like it could go anyway. I mean, he's an aging, rock star. I'm sure he's in his like upper 70s at this point, or 80s. I mean, he's contemporary with Paul McCartney and those types. Um, um, so a lot of people were like, I mean, this is a very legendary, popular band, ELO, and there's people on the Reddit thread who came over from the States to see the show. The show was canceled like right before, like the day before it was going to happen or something. And people were upset. Then there was like an impromptu gathering, like in some local park, of all the fans that didn't get to go to the show, but they still wanted to go. And apparently Jeff Lynne is aware via notices on his social media that of this gathering in his honor, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and this will as I'm saying this, I'm realizing this is going to dovetail with something I'm going to get into in the team bus later on in an interesting way. Um, but one of the sort of subreddits, I don't know what you call it, that I'm following with ELO is specifically about the album Time. ELO Time, one of the foundational albums for the Harper brothers. Although I know it's more of a me and Andy thing than a you thing, but I am going to take my broom wagon this week to recommend people check out the album Time by the Electric Light Orchestra. None of the songs on this record are the big hits for which the band is known. This band is known for such hits as, I would say, the biggest one would probably be like Mr. Blue Sky,
Yeah,
right?
Mr. Blue Sky.
Mr. Blue Sky,
I'm big. I'm big.
Living Thing.
I'm a big. What is it, like the 1018 Overture or whatever? I love that song, man.
Yeah. They're an incredible band. They were kind of they did their own thing because they had this like string section in the band, and so they had this sort of like orchestral quality to them that other bands of the time sort of did not have or whatever. They're a very unique sound, and Jeff Lynne was a fantastic songwriter.
Was Jeff Lynne in the Traveling Wilburys?
Yeah, he was one of the Traveling Wilburys. It was him, Petty, Dylan, Harrison, and Orbison.
Yeah, Orbison. That's right.
But anyways, ELO Time. This is a record that comes out towards the end of the Electric Light Orchestra's run. So I think it's 1980 or something like that, 80, 81. And this record came into our lives through the influence of our uncle Wayne, who I think has come up on the podcast before. And he was a big ELO fan from back in the 70s. That was like his heyday. And so he was into all the classic stuff, but he got all the records, and he got the 1980 ELO record Time. And that's how it found its way into the hands of me and our other brother, Andy. And it's a concept album. It's like the futuristic with robots and stuff like that, and AIs, and it's does some pretty quirky stuff. I've played this for different people over the years and to very differing reactions. Most recently, I played it to my songwriting partner, who was like, he was into it. Like, and this is a classic rock guy. Like, he loves lots of classic rock, has a great appreciation for music. And when I put him on it, he was like, oh, that thing's cool, man. That's a cool record. Whereas other people in the past have been like, what the hell did you just have me listen to or whatever? Because it's pretty bizarre.
It's like trying to get somebody to listen to like Frank Zappa. They're like, what?
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a little more conventional than Frank Zappa, but I get your point. But there's some great songs. And I got to tell you, being in the subreddit and hearing people just like speak lovingly about the record Time is so satisfying because
you're not alone.
Like, it's like doing this podcast with you. It's like I'm sitting here all week, like I cannot wait to get to this podcast so we can start talking some cycling. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You get in that ELO subreddit and everybody's just like, oh my God, let me tell you why this song is so amazing. You're just like, yes, no one has ever said this to me before in my life until this moment. So great. So go out and search out the record ELO, Electric Light Orchestra Time, and give it a full listen. It is a concept album. You need to listen to it start to finish. There are some absolute gems on there and some bizarre 1980s futuristic stuff as well. ELO Time. All right. And that is all for this week. Join us next week for a full breakdown of all the racing action from week 2 of the Tour de France. And that's it. 3 segments, all Tour de France, because why not? Until then, for my brother Justin, I'm Matt Harper. Thanks for listening. We hope you'll join us again soon on another ride beyond the slipstream. Ale!
Beyond the Slipstream is a production of Harperama. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please like and subscribe, smash that button, leave a 5-star review, and most importantly, tell all your friends about us. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. Ale!